Ever get that feeling, like the things you see every day, the ones you think you know, sometimes those are the ones with the most hidden depths. Like
Absolutely.
you could look at them a million times, right? But then one day, bam, you really see it for the first time.
It's like suddenly you're seeing in high definition.
That's what we're doing today, kind of. Taking something familiar, maybe even a little too familiar, John 3.16, and we're diving deep.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens. You think you know something like the back of your hand, and then
Our listener seems to be on a similar journey with this verse, wants to understand it on a whole other level, which honestly is what I live for. So John 3.16, it starts, "For God so loved the world." And whoa, that's so loved, it's hitting different.
it packs a punch for sure.
It's not just like a casual, oh, the world's pretty cool kind of love. This is different.
Oh, absolutely. The way it's worded in the original language, it's like this overflowing, unstoppable kind of love. The kind that makes you do something. Which, spoiler alert, is kind of the whole point of this verse as we go on. And it's for the world, which back then was a radical idea. This love, not just for your own group, but for everyone.
Whoa, really? Didn't think of it like that.
Oh, yeah. At the time, that was unheard of.
So right away, boom, challenging expectations, who's worthy of love, the whole deal. Makes me think, have you ever felt a love that big, that unconditional, or even the opposite, the lack of it, which can hit even harder?
That's the thing about love, right? It can lift you up or
Acer?
completely break you down. And I think for the people hearing this for the first time, this idea of universal love, that would be huge. But it's not just about feeling love, it's about action. The verse goes on,
Yeah.
that he gave his only begotten son.
And that's where things get real, right? Okay, so full disclosure, I've always kind of skimmed over that begotten part. What's the significance there?
Begotten that gets at the uniqueness of Jesus. It's not just a regular father-son thing. It's pointing to this divine connection.
Yeah.
This is where Christian theology really lays the foundation.
So not just any son, this is a big deal. And then it says gave, not lent, not sent for a visit, gave. Hits different.
Yeah, that's not a word you use lightly.
Imagine giving up something you loved more than anything. No guarantees, no takebacks, all to help someone else. That's heavy. That's the kind of love this verse is talking about.
Exactly. There's a weight to it. It's a sacrifice. You don't just casually give something like that.
Makes you think. And then just when you think you're getting a handle on things, it keeps going. That whosoever believeth in him, okay, there's that inclusiveness again. Whosoever, like anyone and everyone, no matter what. But I'm guessing believeth is where things get a little complicated.
Yeah, believe it. It's loaded. It's not just saying, yeah, I agree with that. In your head, it's deeper. More like trust, surrender, changing your whole life because of that trust. Even within Christianity, people debate what that looks like day to day.
So it's like really going all in, not just, kind of sort of believing. This is life-changing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, where's it all headed? Good thing this verse doesn't leave us hanging. Should not perish, but have everlasting life. Phew. But hold on.
And now we're getting to the heart of the matter.
Perish. Okay, that got real dark real quick. What are we talking about here? Is this just like regular death? Or is there something more to it?
That's the question, isn't it? And it takes us back to how these words would have hit the original audience, perishing. It's not just about physical death here, it's about spiritual death. This separation from God, that's the ultimate consequence the verse is describing.
So there's like a real choice here. A fork in the road. You're either on one path or the other.
Exactly. And each path has its own destination.
Even if you're not coming at this from a religious angle, that makes sense, right? We all make choices that have consequences. Those moments where it's like, this is it, no turning back. That feeling, that weight, that's what this verse is getting at.
Big time. It's a powerful image. But the verse doesn't just leave us with the scary stuff. There's an alternative, remember. But have everlasting life.
Yeah.
And just like perishing had a deeper meaning, well, so does everlasting life. It's more than just existing forever.
Right, like just living forever. That's always seemed a bit, I don't know.
Kind of missing the point.
Exactly.
It's about a different way of being, a connection with something bigger than yourself. And it starts now. Think about the most amazing, fulfilling experience you've ever had. That sense of being truly alive, connected to something beyond yourself. That's what this verse is pointing to.
So it's not about escaping life. It's about experiencing life to the fullest. Like upgrading from a black and white TV to a full-on IMAX experience, right? Same life, but now it's in high definition. And that brings up something I've always wondered. We always think of the afterlife as something that happens later, But here it's like this everlasting life is something we can experience now.
Bingo. The verse flips the script. It's not about waiting for something after we die. This relationship with God, it's available right now.
Wow. Okay, so we started with this love so powerful that it led to this huge sacrifice. And now we're seeing how that love isn't just about rescuing us from something bad, it's about giving us something good, something that changes everything. This is some deep stuff. It's like those stories where the hero isn't just trying to survive, they're fighting for something bigger, something better.
Exactly. It's about something much bigger than ourselves. And like those stories, what's at stake is incredibly personal. This verse isn't just throwing around abstract ideas, it's an invitation to each of us.
It's like this verse is saying, hey, this love, this sacrifice, this chance for a new life, it's for you. Wow. I can need a minute to process all of this. Man, this John 3.16, it's really something else. We've been through a lot. From this huge sacrifice to the idea that this everlasting life thing, it's not just some far off thing, it's for right now. And to think it's all packed into this one little verse that most people think they could recite in their sleep.
Funny how that works, right? You think you know it, and then bam, you realize you're just scratching the surface. This verse is like that, always revealing something new.
Exactly. It's like a diamond,
Yeah.
Tiny, but every time you turn it, boom, new sparkle, new reflection. And speaking of reflecting, this is where I think things get really interesting, even for someone who's not coming at this from, religious place. We've dug into all the theology, but if you had to boil it down, what's the core message here? If you had to pick one word to sum up John 3.16, what would it be?
One word, huh? That's tough. But if I had to choose, I think I'd go with grace.
Grace. Ooh, yeah, now we're talking.
This whole verse just oozes grace. This love that doesn't ask for anything in return, it just gives and gives.
It is, isn't it? It's like, those moments where you're caught in a downpour, no umbrella, and someone comes up and just shields you from the rain? That's grace. It's getting something you don't deserve, you didn't earn, but it's given freely.
And that's John 3.16 right there. This love, this sacrifice, this chance for a new beginning, it all comes back to grace.
Powerful stuff. So even if you're listening and thinking, okay, but what does this have to do with me? Well, it makes you think, doesn't it? About what it means to love someone like that, to give without expecting anything in return. Have you ever experienced that kind of love? Or been the one giving it, even when it was hard? Those are the questions this verse pushes us to think about.
It's a good reminder, that there's this love out there, this bigger than us love that doesn't care about our flaws or mistakes. It just loves.
It's a lot to take in, for sure. But hey, that's what we do here on The Deep Dive. We take something familiar, maybe even a little overlooked, and we dive deep, uncovering all the hidden depths and sparking those big questions. So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and most importantly, keep diving deep.